My name is Clint Cannon. I'm the owner and president of ATS Diesel Performance. ATS Diesel is really a manufacturer of light-duty diesel components for Ford, Dodge, and GM. So we manufacture heavy-duty torque converters, transmission packages, turbochargers, a lot of castings, a lot of small parts to make your diesel perform better. Today, the big push is diesel emissions. So diesel emissions performance modifications are really what the full vision of ATS is, with the complexity of the diesel emissions systems and adding performance to it. We've been developing a lot of resources for the last 10 years, and today we have a lot of kits that allow the performance of yesterday on today's diesels with full emissions intact programming. And of course, the emission stuff generates a ton of heat. So having to deal with that kind of heat requires very good lubricants. The challenges that come is making all the systems work together. We add additional fuel, we add another turbo, and then of course you have to tie all that together with software. Building all the components was kind of the first challenge, not to mention getting it in there without deleting anything. There's just not much room to add another injector pump and another turbo. The second big challenge was getting the software dialed in. So it works at all levels. It works at factory sea level, it works at 8,000 feet, it works at 10,000 feet, it works for hundreds of thousands of miles without sit loading, it regenerates properly. It's a big difference from deleting it like so many have been doing for so many years. Prior to 07, basically, all of the turbochargers were a fixed geometry, which means that there were no vanes in the turbine housing. And then 07 and newer, the turbos that were developed to have variable displacement in the turbine housing. With the additional complexity of these turbos, you start adding all those moving pieces into turbine housings running 1400 degrees. It really has a tendency to cook the oil. So having good lubricity in not only the engine but the turbocharger, because the engine is what feeds the oil to the turbocharger. You have to make sure that the oil doesn't coke up, which is basically sizzling the oil. It basically gets hard and mucks up, and then the turbocharger fails prematurely. So having a good high-performance synthetic oil in any of these newer trucks is an absolute must, to make sure that you don't deal with the coking and you maintain the lubrication as the viscosity gets thinner because of the heat. So there's a lot of advantages. I believe that with technology, especially from our partners like with AMSOIL, being able to deal with these hotter temperatures, that we put together a package that not only gives you the fantastic drivability, but it sustains the longevity, and it gives you that performance that we used to get from old diesels, and you don't have any black smoke. It's kind of the best of both worlds, or the best of all of them. So it's exciting times in diesel.